Hey everyone, I'm Noah Sanchez, an 18-year-old high school senior from East LA with a serious passion for coding. But right now, I'm standing in the middle of a rundown auto shop on the corner of Whittier Boulevard, paint peeling off the walls and the constant clanking of tools echoing in the air. That's Sanchez Auto Repair, my family's pride and joy for 3 generations. Well, it's mostly my dad's pride and joy. Noah, passing that wrench with you? Dad calls out from underneath a beat-up Chevy. I grab the tool, resisting the urge to check the MIT acceptance letter burning a hole in my backpack. Here you go, Dad. He slides out from under the car, grease smeared across his forehead. You're getting faster. Pretty soon, he'll be running this place like a pro. I force a smile, but inside I'm screaming. This shop may be his dream, but it's my nightmare. Later that night, I'm hunched over my laptop, typing furiously when Mom pokes her head into my room. What are you working on, Mio? She asks. Just a little side project, I lie, minimizing the college application window. She sighs and sits on my bed. You know your father means well. He just wants security for you. I know, Mom, but what about what I want? She squeezes my shoulder. Follow your heart, Noah. Just be careful. The next day at school, I can barely contain my excitement. Olivia, you won't believe this, I whisper shout, dragging my best friend to a quiet corner. Her eyes widen as I show her the acceptance letter. MIT. Noah, that's incredible. Sha. My dad can't know. He flip. Olivia frowns. You can't keep this a secret forever. What's your plan? I don't know. Apply for every scholarship under the sun and pray for a miracle. I'll help you research, she offers. We'll figure it out together. That evening, I'm elbow deep in an oil change when Dad starts in again. You're getting good at this, son. In a few years, you'll be ready to take over. I bite my tongue, focusing on the task at hand. The weight of my dreams feels heavier than any engine I've ever lifted. As I clean up, I overhear my parents talking in the office. Miguel, maybe we should consider other options for Noah, Mom says softly. What options? This shop is our legacy, Elena. It's all we have. But Noah is so bright. He could do anything. And end up like Roberto, chasing pipe dreams and leaving us high and dry. No, Noah stays here, where he belongs. I lean against the wall, heart pounding. Uncle Roberto, the black sheep who dared to dream beyond the shop. Is that my fate too? Later in my room, I stare at the MIT letter, torn between hope and despair. My phone buzzes, a text from Olivia. Don't give up. We've got this. I take a deep breath and square my shoulders. One way or another, I'm forging my own path. The family business might be my father's future, but it sure as hell isn't mine. The next morning, the smell of burning paper hits me like a punch to the gut. Rounding the corner of our small backyard, I freeze. There's Dad, standing over a metal trash can, tossing envelopes into the flames. What are you doing? I yell, rushing forward. Dad spins around, his face a mixture of anger and guilt. Noah, I can explain. I snatch a half-burned envelope from his hand, my heart sinking as I recognize the Harvard logo. These are my college acceptance letters. How could you? It's for your own good, son, Dad says, his jaw set. This family needs you here, not chasing some pipe dream across the country. Years of pent-up frustration explode out of me. For my good? You mean for your good? You're so scared of change, you'd rather burn my future than let me have a shot at something better. Better? Dad's voice rises. You think you're too good for honest work? For your family? That's not what I... Miguel, Noah, please. Mom runs out, eyes wide with panic. What's going on? I hold up the charred remains of my dreams. Dad's been burning my college acceptance letters. Mom gasps and turns to Dad. Miguel, how could you? Elena, stay out of this, Dad growls. Noah needs to understand his place. His place? Mom's voice hardens in a way I've never heard before. Our son has a chance at an incredible future, and you're trying to clip his wings. As they argue, I notice a stack of papers sticking out of Dad's back pocket. I snatch them, ignoring his protests. My eyes widen as I scan the documents. We're broke. The shop is going under. Dad deflates, suddenly looking old and tired. I didn't want you to worry. I thought if you took over, we could turn things around. Silence falls between us. broken only by a new voice from behind. Well, looks like I showed up at just the right time. We all turned to see Uncle Roberto sauntering into the yard, a slight grin on his face. "Roberto?" Dad says, his voice tight. "What are you doing here?" Uncle Roberto spreads his arms wide. "Can a man visit his family? Besides, I heard you might need some help with the business." I watched Dad's face, seeing the conflict there. Whatever was going on, I knew it wasn't good. Later that night, I called Olivia, my voice trembling as I recounted everything. "Noah, that's awful," she said. "But we're not giving up. I've got an idea." The next day, Olivia showed up at the shop, laptop in hand. "Good news," she whispered. "I managed to recover digital copies of your acceptance letters and financial aid offers. They can burn the paper, but they can't erase the digital trail." Hope flickered inside me. "Olivia, you're a genius." "Don't thank me yet," she said, her eyes serious. "We still need to figure out how you're going to get out of here." I glanced around the shop. Dad hunched over an engine, Uncle Roberto whispering something in the corner. The weight of family obligation pressed down on me, but my ambition burned even brighter. "I'll work here for now," I said quietly, "but I'm not giving up on my dreams. One way or another, I'm getting out." Olivia squeezed my hand. "And I'll be right here, helping you every step of the way." The familiar scent of oil and metal filled my nostrils as I worked on a beat-up Camry. 2 weeks into my apprenticeship, I was already noticing things that didn't add up. "Hey kid," a gruff voice called. I looked up to see Tony, the shop's veteran mechanic. "Take a break. I want to show you something." We huddled by his workbench, away from prying ears. "Listen," Tony whispered, "I've worked here for 20 years, and something ain't right. Your uncle's got your old man twisted up in some shady business." My stomach dropped. "What kind of shady?" Tony's eyes darted around. "Can't say for sure, but those cars coming in late at night, they ain't here for oil changes, if you catch my drift." I nodded, my mind racing. Later during my lunch break, I called Olivia. "I've got those scholarship applications filled out," she said, "just need your signature." "You're a lifesaver," I breathed, but then lowered my voice. "There's something else." I filled her in on Tony's suspicions. Olivia's voice turned serious. "Noah, this is big. We need to be careful." That night, I overheard Dad and Uncle Roberto arguing in the office. "This is too risky, Roberto," Dad hissed. "If we get caught—" "Relax, hermano," Uncle Roberto drawled. "This is our ticket out of the red unless you want to lose everything." Dad's silence spoke volumes. The next day, I was knee-deep in an engine when Dad stormed over, my phone in his hand. "What's this?" he demanded, showing me a text from Olivia about the scholarship applications. My blood ran cold. "Dad, I can explain." His face twisted with rage. "I thought I made myself clear. There's no college in your future, only this shop." "You can't control my life forever," I shouted back. Dad's eyes narrowed. "Watch me. From now on, you don't go anywhere without my say-so." And this, he pocketed my phone. Consider it confiscated. That night, I snuck out to meet Olivia at our favorite diner. Her eyes widened as I recounted everything. "We need proof," she said, determination flashing in her eyes. "If they're really running a car theft ring, we can't let them get away with it." Over the next week, Olivia and I turned into amateur detectives. We documented suspicious late-night deliveries, overheard shady conversations, and even managed to snag some incriminating paperwork from Uncle Roberto's private files. But our luck ran out. One night, as I was copying documents in the office, the door burst open. Dad stood there, his face twisted in fury. "What do you think you're doing?" he roared. "What are you doing?" I shot back. "Running a chop shop? Stealing cars? Is this what our families come to?" Dad's eyes flashed dangerously. "You ungrateful little." He lunged forward, grabbing my arm. I yanked away, knocking over a stack of papers. College brochures and scholarship forms scattered across the floor. Dad's face went pale, then flushed with rage. "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me." "Done for me?" I laughed bitterly. "You mean holding me back? Forcing me into a life I don't want?" "I'm trying to secure your future," Dad bellowed. "No, you're trying to save yourself," I shouted back. "Well, I'm done being your sacrificial lamb. I'm getting out of here, with or without your blessing." Dad's hand shot out faster than I could react. Pain exploded across my cheek as he slapped me. We both froze, shocked by the sudden violence. Miguel? Mom's horrified voice came from the doorway. She rushed to me, cradling my face. What have you done? Dad stared at his hand, then at me, a flicker of regret in his eyes. But it was too late. The damage was done. I straightened up, locking eyes with him. We're done, I said, my voice cold. And you're done controlling my life. As I walked out, leaving my parents' argument behind me, I knew nothing would ever be the same again. The next morning, I woke up with a plan and a bruise. Olivia and Tony were waiting for me at our secret meeting spot behind the old warehouse. You okay, kid? Tony asked, eyeing my face. I nodded grimly. Let's do this. We marched into the police station, armed with all the evidence we gathered. Detective Johnson listened intently as we laid out everything. The late-night deliveries, the doctored paperwork, the stolen cars. When we finished, she leaned back, her expression serious. This is some heavy stuff, she said. Are you sure you want to go through with this? I thought about Dad, his face contorted with rage, the slap still fresh in my mind. I'm sure. Everything happened fast after that. Police cars swarmed the shop, lights flashing as they blocked off the street. From across the road, I watched Uncle Roberto try to make a run for it, only to be tackled by 2 officers. Dad came out in handcuffs, his eyes scanning the crowd until they found mine. In that moment, I saw shock, betrayal, and maybe, just maybe, a flicker of pride. Mom arrived shortly after, panic etched on her face. Noah, what's happening? I took a deep breath. Mom, there's something I need to tell you. We sat in a nearby cafe as I told her everything. The car theft ring, Dad's financial troubles, the violence. Mom's face crumpled as she absorbed it all. But then something changed. Her expression hardened with resolve. Enough, she said, standing up. It's time I stopped being a bystander in my own life. She marched across the street, straight to Dad as he was being led to the police car. Miguel, she said, her voice firm. We're done. I'm done letting you control this family. Dad's face fell. Elena, please. He began, but Mom had already turned away, walking back to me, her head held high. The next few weeks were a whirlwind. The shop was closed, yellow police tape stretched across the doors. Dad and Uncle Roberto faced serious charges, not just for the car theft ring, but for years of tax evasion as well. I used the evidence of Dad's actions to petition for independence on my college applications. Surprisingly, the financial aid offices were understanding. 3 years later, I'm strolling across the campus of MIT, the crisp fall leaves crunching beneath my feet. My phone buzzes. It's Mom. Hey, sweetie, just checking in. The new garage is doing great. Who knew I had a knack for honest business? I grin, proud of her. After everything settled down, she'd opened her own auto repair shop, built on integrity and hard work. She was thriving. That's awesome, Mom, I reply. Listen, I've got to run to class. Love you. As I hang up, another notification pops up, a message from Dad's prison. He'd been trying to contact me for months. I sigh, knowing what I have to do. The prison visiting room is drab and quiet. Dad sits across from me, looking older and smaller in his jumpsuit. His eyes are heavy with regret. Noah, he says, his voice cracking. I'm so sorry for everything. I was wrong. Can you ever forgive me? I look at him, really look at him. I see the man who taught me to throw a baseball, who stayed up all night when I was sick. But I also see the man who tried to crush my dreams, who raised his hand against his own son. I'm glad you're sorry, Dad, I say, standing up. But some things can't be undone. I hope you find peace in here. Goodbye. As I walk out of that room, I feel a weight lift off my shoulders. The past couldn't be changed, but the future, that was all mine. Now here's a question for you. Was I right to turn in my own father, even though it tore our family apart? What would you have done in my shoes? This decision changed everything for me, my mom, and my future. But was it worth it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.